Hello, everyone. Welcome to our monthly Shreem Brzee Powertime update, or forecast, I should say. My name is Gina. My spiritual name is Lakshmi, and it's a pleasure to be here with you. So how it's going to go is I'm going to give the overview of the Powertimes that are happening in April, specifically for Shreem Brzee, and then I'll take questions. So in the meantime, you can write or note any questions you may have that we can get to at the end. And I'm not quite sure why my face keeps turning colors like green and something weird with my lighting. So anyway, hopefully that corrects itself. So I'm going to share my PowerPoint right now anyway. All right, so you should see my screen here. And so as I said, it's the Powertime update, or I should say forecast for April. We had been doing these weekly, and then we condensed them into a monthly forecast. So you can know everything that's coming your way in the coming months. And I do appreciate you being here. And please say hi to your friends around the world. It's so good to see everyone say hello and to see familiar and new names and faces. Just super fabulous. Also, please like the video and subscribe to the channel. That helps us to bring Shreem Brzee to more people. All right, so we're focusing in on the moon phases, the stars, planets, and transits that are happening in the month that can help enhance your abundance. We start out with a waxing phase of the moon. So the last day of March is the new moon, which means we shift into the moon as it what's called grows, but it doesn't ever change shape. It just looks differently in the sky to us from Earth because the sun is shining on it differently. But we get a different energetic effect from the moon. The moon affects our mind in a great number of ways. And when it is in the silent or still or empty new moon, it brings us a stillness. It brings us a meditative period of time. It brings us a time of release. It also has some fierce energy to it in terms of which archetypes it associated with. So when it flips into the waxing phase or the growing, it's an expansion. It's expanding now from the kind of less impact on our mind in terms of turbulence to more activity, which means it's a good time to focus on your goals, increasing your efforts towards your manifestation, starting new things. It's a growth period. Then we grow into the absolute fullness of the moon and its energy on April 15th. And these are all US-based timings. The full moon is the maximum abundant energy of the entire month. This is where you want to double down on your Shreem Brzee practices, your manifestation, any types of rituals that you may do, prayers, they are all multiplied. Everything we do on that day is magnified. So we want to take advantage of at least this one day of the whole month. If you're not going to do anything else, make sure you are doing something, specifically Shreem Brzee, on the full moon day. This particular full moon is different because it is called Chitra Purnima, or the full moon having to do with Chitra or Chitragupta. It's an archetype in Hinduism, and it is said that he's the record keeper of our good and bad deeds, and that he knows what's been written in the Akashic records of what we've done in this and other lifetimes. And when we honor him on this day, it's an opportunity to erase them or appease him in some way, and he might, tweak those records. So it's a karma clearing type of situation. So I wanted to add that this full moon has that added benefit, this kind of uniqueness to it that allows us to tap into that mythology. And if you're interested, Pillai Center has rituals that can be done on this day, which help you to appease this being who can tweak our Akashic records. And then what we also do on full moons is we do at Pillai Center, we have full moon fire labs, which are an amazing way to connect with the goddess and also bring in more benefit. Dr. Pillai says fire ritual is the most powerful ritual that you can do. He says that rituals are more important or more powerful than meditation even. So we do the full moon fire lab with Priest Premraj, which is a wonderful interactive experience. And then we have a 4-hour meditation on the full moon. Really important to do extra practices, like I said, on the full moon. And then we do them together. So you're enhancing the energy that's brought together during this time. So all of that is in Powertime events. And that link is below if you're interested in joining. It's just $54 a month. And you get a bunch of other things too. But specifically for the full moon, that is what happens. Next, we go on to, there we go. After we reach our peak in terms of the full energy, it starts to wane, right? So then the moon starts getting what looks like smaller in the sky. And this is an opportunity to release and let go. Let go of unwanted habits, old karmic thoughts, the ways in which we kind of just hold on to things that aren't serving us. The waning phase of the moon is a great time to release those. And then that leads us up to the new moon, where the moon is black in the sky. We can't see it. This is the perfect time to do ancestor offerings. So there's something called Tarpanam. We have videos on that you can learn. But if you don't do ancestor offerings any other time of the month, make sure you do it on the new moon. Most powerful time to do so. Why are ancestors important to our wealth? Because when ancestors move on after they've passed in this body, they take with them thoughts and impressions and concepts. And when they're not in a body, if they haven't ascended into higher levels, they may have those thoughts so persistent that then we start feeling them, the descendants of them, because we're energetically, spiritually, and physically connected to them. So now we may be feeling their imprints, their thoughts, specifically about poverty or scarcity. And so when we make this offering to them, we're asking them to move into higher levels of the planes that you exist in after death, the heavenly worlds, and bless us from there. So very important to your wealth to be able to release those deep-seated karmic patterns from your ancestors that are preventing abundance. Next, we move into the fourth moon. The fourth moon is for removing obstacles. It's associated with the archetype of Ganesha or Ganesha. And Dr. Pillai says that Ganesha and Lakshmi are always together. And so that's why we have this picture of them here. And so when you're wanting to pray to Shreem Brzee, it's useful to include Om Gum, which is a mantra for Ganesha, to help remove particular obstacles. You don't have to if you are only focusing on Shreem Brzee, or if you're new, then just do that. This is additional information that could support your practice. So the fourth moons happen twice per month, on April 4th and the 19th. The Vedic New Year happens on April 14th. What does this have to do with Shreem Brzee, and what is it? Well, it is a time when the sun moves into Aries, which is the first house of the zodiac. And it's considered the new year because it's the astrological new year. The sun is moving into the first house. It's going to then move through the 12 houses over the course of 12 months. So Dr. Pillai calls this the true new year. So if that's the true new year, this gives us an opportunity to really start new. And we're energetically supported to do so, right? The sun, which empowers our soul, is what is feeding us life force energy on a daily basis, our soul and our bodies, right? It facilitates our health. It grows life on the planet. We need the sun. So when the sun is in this empowered space of Aries, it has this boost of energy. And so we want to access that boosted energy. How? Pay attention to the sun. In the morning when the sun rises, make a prayer to the sun to bring you light, energy, empowerment. Fill your body with light. When the evening, when the sun goes down, stop and say a little prayer and thank the sun for giving you life and empowering your life force. And then if you want an additional practice, you can chant the Gayatri mantra. I'm not going to go through it here, but it is on the web, and it also is on Pillai Center, where Dr. Pillai is chanting. It's the Om Bhur Bhuva Swaha mantra. And fun fact, Vishwamitra is the being who brought the Gayatri mantra to the earth plane, as he also is the one who gave Brzee. So little correlation there. It's also said that in Vedic tradition, that people worship Lakshmi and Ganesha on this day to start new, right? New endeavors, creating with an auspicious energy. Now we move on to the 11th moon phases. They happen twice per month. They are associated with Vishnu, the consort of Lakshmi, her husband. And together they make this power couple that give us wealth and health and happiness and beauty and purity and all the things that we enjoy on the earth plane. Vishnu is that domain. And so his day is the 11th moon. And here you can see a picture of Dr. Pillai with the lying down Vishnu. And he has told us that that is the image, that's the version of Vishnu you want to worship or pay attention to or pray to on the 11th moon. Very powerful image, archetype of Vishnu here. And what you can do is chant Om Namo Narayanaya 108 times, as well as your Shreem Brzee practice. Now, again, I'm going to continue to give you these additional things you can add to your Shreem Brzee. If you are a Shreem Brzee diehard and all you want to and can do at this time is focus on Shreem Brzee, great, do that. Remember, this is supplementary. Excuse me. So the 13th moon is for karma clearing. And again, happening twice per month. These moon phases are happening in the waning and the waxing. So that's why you see them twice per month. It is a time to dissolve those negative karmic habits, patterns, aspects of yourself and your life that you wish no longer existed. This is a beautiful window of opportunity that lets us release those things. And so you want to pay attention to the 13th moon. And it's happening on April 13th and the 27th in the US. I did a whole video and workshop on all the things you can do during a 13th moon, or what's called a pradosham, including using lime, lemons, and coconuts, chanting Brzee. So you can review that webinar, but basically focusing on your throat, chant Brzee or Shreem Brzee at least 108 times. And then you can do other supplemental techniques as well. We have a special power time that happens twice per year this month in April, and that is the 9 nights of the goddess, also called Navaratri. It happens in the spring and the fall. This is the spring Navaratri. So it's the goddess emerging from the darkness, emerging from what's considered a sleep or restful period time of winter, and then the goddess comes in for 9 nights, and there's 3 different goddesses, and it is a time period where these divine feminine beings come in and fight wars, right? They're fighting wars on the internal plane of us, the people. They're fighting wars on the earth plane. And what type of war? It's a war with negativity. It's a war with activity that doesn't support our highest good. It's anything that needs to be destroyed and relieved of. And that is, the goddesses aren't just, loving mothers who coddle you, right? They are fierce, loving mothers who will fight for you, who have weapons. And that's who appears on the 9 nights of the goddess. The goddess was with the weapons, and we want to honor them. So the first 3 nights is Durga, and then the next 3 nights is Lakshmi, and the final 3 nights are Saraswati. And each of those goddesses have different energy and aspect to them that helps clear negativity, for example, Durga will come and clear off any negativity that doesn't serve you. all negativity. She is a fierce goddess. And then goddess Lakshmi will come in and clear poverty consciousness, right? A negative aspect. And then Saraswati will come and clear ignorance, things, ignorant parts of our brain and our body that don't function in a way that is our highest good, not for our evolution. She will remove that. So really powerful time. Pillai Center is hosting rituals that will be performed on your behalf. And we also have a program, and there's a link below the video for you to check that out if you're interested. And that starts April 1st through April 14th. So very beginning of the month. Next, we move on to the Anuradha Star Day happening once per month. It is the birth star of both Lakshmi and Vishwamitra. Vishwamitra is the saint who gave Dr. Pillai the Brzee mantra. So it's convenient that both of their stars are the same. And a star day is an energetic imprint, and we all have them. And so when this particular star comes along, it's an opening, a window of time that allows us to access this wealth and purity of Anuradha, and specifically of these two beings. So you want to do a little bit of extra Shreem Brzee. Fun fact, in Vijayapati in India, there's this amazing temple for Vishwamitra. And on the star, this star day, Anuradha star, they have a big celebration of food feeding. They decorate him like elaborately. It's really, really beautiful. So you can do your own celebration if you have, and specifically if you have a Vishwamitra statue. Then Fridays. So every Friday, and we have 5 of them in April, so that's good. Fridays are ruled by Venus. Venus is the planet who gives us material comforts and prosperity. And Lakshmi is the overlord of Venus. So that means every Friday is a goddess Friday. Every Friday is an opportunity to connect more deeply with Shreem Brzee and Lakshmi. And if you want to take it to the next level, then you do find out the hora, or the hour that is ruled by Venus. You can do so on the Astroved Assistant or Astroved Hora Watch app. And then you can do a double power time every Friday by practicing, whether it's a hydration or puja, or simply chanting Shreem Brzee or doing a meditation during that time period. Tip for the month. We've been mentioning this recently. Dr. Pillai has been talking a lot about immersing yourself in meditation for a longer period of time. This gives us an opportunity to get clearer in our mind, and the more clear we become, then we can have these super thoughts. We can have thoughts that are more meaningful, that allow us to not just be mundane. So he's mentioned, if you can meditate for 2 hours a day, fantastic. Most people can't because they have family obligations, work obligations, etc. So then use that time on a weekend or a day off, or somewhere where you can carve out that little extra time where you are going to give it to yourself, to your soul, to your abundance, and give yourself the time and space to do this extended meditation. In Wealth Powertime events, we are doing 2-hour meditations in the evening on Friday nights and 4-hour meditations on the full moons, and you can join that. So here are our free events coming up every Friday at 8 a.m. Pacific Daylight Time. Is Shreem Brzee group chanting and meditating, which happens on Shreem Brzee official YouTube and Facebook. And then 1 month from now, on April 27th, I will do the Powertime forecast for May. And then Shreem Brzee monthly events. So I had mentioned a little bit before the Wealth Powertime events. And by the way, if you're in Shreem Brzee Manifestation Immersion, the premier version and Wealth Powertime events are the same thing. So I'm just going to focus in on the name of the program, called Wealth Powertime events at this moment. We're doing full moon Shreem Brzee Fire Labs with Priest Premraj, who guides us. They're interactive, they're amazing. 4-hour full moon meditations, a way to really go deep. 2-hour Friday meditations plus a teaching. I've been doing I'll do a different teaching each week for the next six more weeks. And then weekly Shreem Brzee light and sound ceremonies or pujas with Priest Premraj. And those are Friday mornings. So we have 2 events on Fridays, mornings and evenings in the US, and then 2 events on full moons. Yeah, and then I'll get into this other. May is a whole nother amazing set of power times. We'll get to that later. Let's focus on April. So that's what we'll be doing for all of April, which is exciting. So now is an opportunity for you to ask any questions that you may have. I want to order the Shreem Brzee yantra. Where can I order it from? If you are in India, you can order it and we can ship it to you. If you're not in India, we've still been having problems with shipping. So you can go to Pillai Center website and search for yantra. If you have any trouble, write to office, OFFICE, at pillaicenter.com, and we can help you out. So we have some capacity to ship and some is still problematic. And we apologize for that. Hopefully it all gets cleared up very soon. So any questions? I'm reading the chat to see if we have anything. Yeah, please feel free to post your questions now. There was actually something I wanted to mention when I was going through the slides before, which is I'm just looking for it. Forget where I put it. Okay. So people often ask us how to do Shreem Brzee better, how to make more out of your practice. And I did a webinar on this last month, which you can review. But the reason we do these power time updates and forecasts is so that you can utilize these different time opportunities all month long to benefit yourself and your practice. So think of these as like gifts from God, right? Gifts from the divine beings, gifts from the celestial beings, the planets, this moon, the stars, which they're gifts every month that we get to access. It's not just, it happens once in a while, it happens monthly, yearly, weekly, and daily, where there's times where we can utilize this opening of time, this window, and then we can do our Shreem Brzee practice and it'll get us a little further, it'll help us a little bit more. And I'm still turning green. Why is this happening? Questions. What time is best to chant Shreem Brzee, day or night? The best time is when you are going to make time, right? So if it's like, I'm so busy in the morning, I can't do it, then do it at night. And if it's, I can't do it at night, do it in the morning. But the goddess is more active at night, right? So the goddess energy is more active. She may be more present. So nighttime is a great time to chant and meditate, especially if you're wanting to connect deeply with the goddess herself. However, mornings are also really fantastic because they, sorry, this lighting is really distracting me. Try something, if that'll help. So I'll go back to your question. Is it better to chant in the morning or at night? The answer to your question is whatever time you will chant is the best time to chant. So if you're not going to be able to do it in the morning, do it in the evening. If you know your evenings are busy and you're not going to be able to do it then do it in the morning. However, the goddess is more available energetically in the evening. So if you want to go deeper into your meditation and create more of a connection with her, nighttime meditations will help you do that a little bit more. However, Dr. Pillai does recommend we meditate twice per day or chant at least twice a day in the mornings and the evenings. And ideally, those are right around or before sunrise in the mornings, and then anytime in the evening or after sunset. So you have different opportunities to really connect, and then really it's indicative of your schedule and what works best for you. but I give you some tips on what works best energetically. So if it works for you, that's great. Can I do Tarpanam on your menstrual cycle? Yes, you can. How do I use my yantra plate? That's a long question. I will get back to that. What time? Okay, I got that one. I'm only able to chant Shreem Brzee 108 times once a day, along with other mantras. Then my day is busy. I also chant if I'm driving or sitting. That's great. Yeah, so I've mentioned this before. What you want to do is fill your time with the mantra. It's not just when you're sitting and meditating. It is every single day, any time of the day. It's when you're driving to work. It's when you're taking a shower. It's when you're cooking your food. It's when you're waiting in an elevator or online somewhere, right? Like opportunities present themselves all the time. And our job is to fill the mind and the body with the mantra as much as possible. Immerse yourself with the mantra. It doesn't have to be that you're sitting and meditating. It doesn't have to be that you're sitting and spending 20 minutes to an hour meditating. Create the lifestyle, right? The Shreem Brzee lifestyle where it is incorporated into your life, right? Like I put Shreem Brzee in a variety of places to remind myself of it. I chant it. I have the mantra playing in the background. I have it playing while I'm sleeping. Allow it to be a continual force, a continual influence in your life. And that's how Shreem Brzee can start making changes. Let's say if you don't have time to sit and meditate for longer periods of time. Then you set aside time on the weekends or a day off or whenever it's convenient for you to then go and do that deeper meditation. Of course, we want you to be able to take away at least 20 minutes per day and really do sit and allow yourself to be in a more still practice. In fact, Dr. Pillai just made a video this past week about the fantasy meditation. And everyone needs to watch that and start doing that. And in short, the fantasy meditation or the dreaming meditation is that you literally dream up whatever it is that you want in your life. Imagine your life as it would be in your dream state, in your fantasy. Who's there? What kind of car do you drive? Where do you live? Do you do something for work, for your career, being fulfilled? How much money do you have? What type of luxuries are you afforded, such as, spa and posh locations, if that's your thing? Or maybe you just want to be able to have financial freedom and take care of your family and give to charity. It's your fantasy, right? Like, so he said to spend time thinking of this, spend time dreaming of this, and that this is a meditation. So this is your meditation for the week, to dream up the beautiful life that you want to create and use that as your meditation. Literally practice, sit and immerse yourself in these thoughts, and you'll notice you're feeling happy and joyful and fulfilled, and it's already complete. The meditation is there, the situation is there, it is already done for you. That's where you want to be. You want to be inside it is already complete. And then feel the amazing way that you are feeling, and then align yourself with that. And then those energetic vibrations become part of your life. And that's how you're literally creating your world from the inside out. So do that meditation. As Dr. Fly calls it, a fun meditation. It's not his words are, it's not a boring meditation. So you want to do that. You want to do your fantasy dreaming meditation as much as possible. Let's see. During chanting Shreem Brzee, is it best to concentrate on the sound? To concentrate the sound on the throat or on the third eye? Good question. So Dr. Pillai said specifically you chant into the throat when you're wanting to remove karma. So if you're feeling stuck, things aren't going your way, there's karmic blockages, chant it at the throat. So that's more of a way to clear. So it's a clearing meditation. And then to chant at the third eye here, or sometimes Dr. Pillai says it's the whole area. That is for creativity. That's for the manifesting aspect. So clearing and then creating. So you would do them both at different times. Should we also observe veggie diet? That is totally up to you. So Dr. Pillai does not give directives on what people should eat. Basically, he says everybody is different. Everybody needs different types of sustenance and food. And so you do what works best for you. However, a vegetarian diet does facilitate more spiritual energy. So if you're feeling like you are wanting to, let's say you do eat meat, maybe you spend a day or two off of it and see how it works, how it works for you. And if you have what type of thoughts you have, meat maybe, non-veg may be useful for the workforce, and being able to keep up with that. And the vegetarian diet may be more useful for facilitating your spiritual practice. Can we chant Shreem Brzee at night? Will that have any negative energy, as night is not considered the time? Oh no, yeah, absolutely, you can do it at night. So I just mentioned how the goddess is active at night, and chanting Shreem Brzee is a great time to do that at night. Also, you can play it throughout the day and night. Someone's asking they want to achieve a certain job, how to move myself forward. What I just said is exactly it. So you imagine, okay, here's the thing. The question is, how do I achieve my dream job? The answer is to visualize your dream job with passion and love and excitement and detail. So imagine what it looks like. Who's there at your job? And what are you doing? How much are you getting paid? How do you feel at this job? Literally visualize the entire environment. Maybe you even know how it smells. You feel like you can touch it. You are hearing what does it sound like while you're there. All of the ways that we can interact with our senses, that's how you're bringing it into reality. And the visualization and the feeling of it already being done, already being created, is the dream meditation, the fantasy meditation. So that's what you do. And once you're fully aligned with that energy, that vibration of the thing you want to manifest, in this case, it's your dream job, then you'll notice things start shifting. And that now, but if there's any doubt that I'm not qualified or I can't do it or I'm not the right one, you just wiped it all away. It has to be a pure fantasy thought with no doubts. Pure fantasy thought with no doubts. And do this every day for as long as possible. I've achieved things doing this. And the key really is that you have no doubt at all. And you notice how quickly things will shift. And if you're feeling like it's stuck, or if you're feeling like, a lot of negative thoughts are coming up, that's when the Shreem Brzee at the throat would be a really good remedy to offset those negative thoughts. So good question. Thank you. Great. Yeah, so I just answered that question on chat about, again, getting your job. Someone asked before how to use the yantra. So there are other videos on more detail on how to use the yantra, but the short answer is you take the yantra, I don't have one with me, you place it in the palm of your left hand facing up and put your right hand over top of it and then meditate with it. That's one way. The other way is to do a hydration ceremony to it, where you would pour water, milk, and then there's other substances like honey, yogurt, orange juice, etc., that you can pour over it while chanting Shreem Brzee. The very easy version of that is that you would just do water. That's a simple water and or milk. If you want to do a quick version of the hydration ceremony for your yantra. And then you clean it off and put it on your altar and offer it some light and candlelight, incense, flowers, some candy or some sort of food, and allow it to be there and be energized. The yantra is a mechanical device. It's a machine. It literally means that it's going 24/7. It's generating the energy of whatever that imprint is, whatever that sacred geometry is. In this case, Shreem Brzee. So if you want Shreem Brzee to go 24/7, you get a yantra, you do these quick and easy hydration ceremonies to enliven it and place it on your altar with some candlelight, some incense, flowers, what else? Yeah. And you're caring for it. You're caring for it and you're keeping the energy going. So I hope that answers your question. Do making offerings to Goddess help? What all can we offer? Okay, good question. So yes, making offerings to Goddess helps. Does it help when you bring your mother flowers or her favorite food? Does it help when you bring your father some of his favorite gift, whatever it is? Maybe it's, food, or I don't know, sports. You buy him tickets to a sports game or something like that. When you give something to someone, don't they like it? Especially if you put thought into it and knowing like that's what they like. It's not just generic. It's like, oh, they like this particular thing. That's when you, and all of us, the gods aren't different. They love offerings too. They want to be cared for. They want to be acknowledged. They want to know that you are thinking of them. They want to know that you know them. Just like any person in your life, you're building a relationship with a divine being, just like you build a relationship with a human being. So people love their names. Gods love their names. People love to know what you like. Gods love to know what they like. People like to know you're thinking about them. Gods like to know you're thinking about them. People like to spend time with you. Gods like to spend time with you, right? All of that is not different. So if you're building a relationship with a friend, a family member, it's the same techniques you would use as building a relationship with a god or goddess. And that's a beautiful thing because they love us so much and they want us to reach out to them. And when we do, they're there for us, right? And different gods will react differently. And it also depends on your natural connection to a god or goddess, right? So if you're naturally drawn to somebody, then move towards them. So whether it's Jesus or Buddha or Ganesha or Lakshmi, that is the being who is calling you forth. It's calling you towards them. And the more you spend time with them, the more you make offerings to them, the more you acknowledge them, the more you love them and feel their love. That is when the benefits begin. That's when they can start talking to you. That's when their energy can start coming through you and you can notice changes in your life. So what kind of offerings do you make? It's specific to whoever you're calling upon. In this case, Shreem Brzee. What is the goddess Lakshmi like? What we know, right, is that she likes pink in colors. She likes purples in color. She likes flowers. She likes scented flowers, jasmine, rose. She likes milk-based sweets, so chocolates. She doesn't like non-veg, so don't give her anything with egg or certainly nothing with meat. So keep hers pure veg. She likes gold. She likes silver. She likes jewelry. She likes anything sweet. So if you don't have chocolate or something like that, you can offer a very sweet fruit. What else does she like? Yeah, that's a lot of what she likes. So there you go. There's lots of options there. And then in a puja, when you make offerings in a puja, there's always a candle or a ghee lamp, and you can make an offering that way. And then there's usually a little cup of water that you use. There's incense or something that smells good. And there's food. And I think that's it. I think those are all the elements. Did I miss anything? All right, other questions? After washing the yantra, a fine layer of oxidized metal gets eroded. Is that okay? No, that's okay. You should see my yantra. It's pretty beat up. And that just means like you used it and you loved it and it's good because it's more energized. And you'll notice the power is there. So you have a brand new, shiny, lovely looking yantra versus, the one that's been used up for a few years. The one that's been used up for a few years is more energetically powerful because you've energized it more with the rituals. So don't worry about how your yantra looks. It is getting more powerful every ritual that you do. It's Mother's Day in England today, but yeah, well, that would be a great time to reach out to your mother. Just like reaching out to your divine mother, Lakshmi. This person said, Nessa said, last week I was talking to Lakshmi a lot. It happened that Ganesha picture moved. This person's mom told me that it moved even when I'm not at home. It's true that Ganesha and Lakshmi go together. Yeah, great. And that you're talking to them, they're activating. So just like a human relationship, the more you speak to them, the more you are engaging with them, the more they engage with you, the more active they become in your life, right? So if you're always reaching out to a friend, most likely that friend is reaching back out to you. And if they're not, they're probably not your good friend, right? So that back and forth, that reciprocation, that energy and that love and that relationship is what's being cultivated. Yes, she loves pink flowers. So yeah. All right. Any other questions? These are always fun sessions. And now that I only do them once a month, folks, you have to come on and get all your questions answered. See if there's any questions over on Facebook. Can anyone chant Shreem Brzee? Yes, anyone can chant Shreem Brzee. There are no rules in that, right? The only thing, you would never want someone who has ill intention to use the power of a mantra, but the mantras are already protecting themselves and the people who use them, that it couldn't happen, I don't believe. So yes, anyone can chant Shreem Brzee. It's a free mantra for everyone. That's what's beautiful about it. So yeah, let me back up and answer that again. The question is, can anyone chant Shreem Brzee? And the answer is absolutely. Shreem Brzee is for everyone. It is a free mantra that was given by Dr. Pillai and Saint Vishwamitra to the world. Vishwamitra's name literally means friend of the world. And so he spent 1,500 years in meditation. How does someone do that? Because he was beyond the body at that time. He could go into a different dimension and meditate for that long of a period of time. And then he, through a divine channel, gave the mantra to Dr. Pillai. And Dr. Pillai then brought it to the world. Brzee is the mantra. Dr. Pillai put it together with Shreem, so it's Shreem Brzee. And it is absolutely free for everyone to use. And what can you get from Shreem Brzee? Abundance, purity, prosperity, wealth, inward wealth, and outward wealth. What's inward wealth? Purity, joy, love, happiness. Outward, material comforts, being able to take care of yourself and your family, being able to grow your business, right? Have a beautiful home, beautiful car, everything that sustains us that we need. So how grateful can we be that Shreem Brzee is this free mantra available to everyone and anyone who wants to be able to utilize it. And what's the catch? The catch is doing the mantra, right? So it's like, oh, there's all these amazing, beautiful, free things happening. Yeah, your job, in order to activate those amazing, beautiful, free things to happen, is to do the work. And the work is chanting the mantra. And I only say work because it's something to do. It doesn't have to be work. It can be fun, it can be exciting, you can love it, play it in your environment, you can chant it, you can write it, you can meditate on it, right? You can envision the goddess Lakshmi and meditate on her form. There's different ways to go about it. But the bottom line is, when you take an action towards the mantra, it will give you back what you're giving it and more. So our part is to do the mantra, and the mantra's part is to bless. And the definition of a mantra is that which protects and activates the mind. So we're using the mantra to protect our mind from negative thoughts, and we're using the mantra to enliven and activate our mind with Shreem Brzee. So yes, anyone can use Shreem Brzee mantra. Thank you for asking. That was great. Yeah, there's a question about this person. If I'm chanting other mantras, can I also chant Shreem Brzee? Absolutely. The only thing we ask you is you don't combine them. So don't say Om Gam Hreem Shreem Brzee Namaha, right? Don't make up your own mantra. The saints, the sages, the gods and goddesses have done all the work for us. Don't get creative. Just chant Shreem Brzee by itself, or Om Shreem Brzee Namaha, or Om Shreem Brzee Lakshmi Namaha. Any mantra that Dr. Pillai has given around Shreem Brzee is totally safe. Don't make up your own. So do the mantra by itself and then do your other mantras. So let's say you have a mantra, you have a practice of doing another mantra, chant that mantra 108 times or however many times you were going to, and then do your Shreem Brzee practice. Then chant your Shreem Brzee 108, 1008, or however many times that you want. Just don't push them together. And Shreem Brzee complements any practice. You could be Christian, right? You could be Hindu and doing other practices. It doesn't matter, because Shreem Brzee in its pure form is just beauty, it's purity, it's abundance, it's love, right? And that goes with anything. It's not prejudice. And then we don't have to be prejudiced either. We can use it freely, however you're comfortable. All right, any other questions? Let's see, I think I got questions from Facebook, so thank you. There are two different types of Shreem Brzee yantras. Yes, there are. One is the traditional or the original form, and that is the two triangles connected together. And then there's what's called the 5-symbol yantra. Either one, I have both. So use or select both, or whichever one you're more drawn to. They have different symbols on them. I won't go into all the symbols of each of them, but there is a description in the store posts that you can read about, and I would just pick whichever one you're really drawn to. Basically, the one with the 5 symbols came to Dr. Pillai through a reading where that was to be the new version of it, and so we created that. And but they're both abundance. They're both Shreem Brzee. I have a particular affinity towards the one that is the triangles up, the 2 triangles connected, which say Shreem Brzee on it, and then the other one is great too. Does chanting Shreem Brzee make your Venus stronger astrologically? I can't answer that. I don't know. That is probably a question for an astrologer, which I am not. It makes the energy of Lakshmi, the goddess of wealth, stronger. And Dr. Pillai says how the mantra is one and the same of the energy that it embodies. So it is prosperity, it is beauty, it is wealth, it is abundance of all kinds, it's the lack of all scarcity, it's total fullness. So when that is present, is that strengthening your Venus? I don't know. But usually astrologers will say in order to strengthen your Venus, you have to chant the mantra of Venus and the overlord, which is Lakshmi. So perhaps there is some connection, but I would consult an astrologer just to make sure. All right, any other questions? This has been a fun session, so I'm willing to hang out as long as you are. If you have anything else. Let me also give you a little bit of a kind of look ahead. We are planning so Wealth Powertime events is going on until the middle of May. And then we're shifting. We're going to be shifting over to, it's just going to be called a new program. And it's going to be a membership program similar to all Powertime events, similar types of ongoing rituals and gatherings that will happening. But just a heads up. Also, May 15th is a full moon. It is also a time, it's called Vishnupati. I won't get into the details, but we are going to be planning an event, an all-day silent retreat with Shreem Brzee, and it's going to be amazing. We're going to be meditating for 8 hours. You're not allowed to talk. We're going to give you instructions on what type of food to consume, how to prepare yourself at home, and really just give yourself this 8 hours. Remember how I talked earlier about how it's important to use the times to immerse yourself. So we're going to combine rituals and meditation together for an 8-hour period. And I'm really excited. That's going to be May 15th. It's a Sunday, and it's also the full moon. So I'm hoping lots of people from around the world it'll be a convenient time to get together. Stay tuned for that. Yes, Navin, it's good to hear the mantra in the car, in the office, and everywhere. Absolutely. Along with chanting. As soon as I just came to this new house, it's somebody else's house, but I'm staying here. And the first thing I did was, not the first thing, but one of the first things I did was flip on Shreem Brzee that plays continuously. You put it on once and then it's got forever, right? So you walk into that room or you're in wherever that sound is, and you're just immediately reminded. Like I said before, it's a Shreem Brzee lifestyle. You want to have your self surrounded by Shreem Brzee, so it's a constant reminder. And then of course, continue to do the other things like the writing and the meditation, the rituals, things that enhance the mantra in your life. Here's a question. In case of emergency prayer, is there any specific ritual or any special number of times to chant Shreem Brzee? No, except if you're having an emergency, like you need something done right away, there's 2 things you can do. Pillai Center has what's called an emergency karmic clinic. It is 1,008 coconuts being broken. I think there's some other rituals along with it. If you need some karmic breakthrough right now, really quickly, you want to do something like that as a ritual. Then on your practice, on yourself, for yourself, you want to be in complete surrender to the divine and crying and praying and creating the emergency that you need this right now. It is not to wait any longer. And do your best to just be inside of this strong prayerful state that brings the gods to you. And Dr. Pillai says the most effective way to do that is through tears. The gods can't resist our tears. And so when you're literally crying, they will hear you, and more so than if we're just, kind of in a regular, a normal type of state. So that's what you want to do. You want to do some, if you are having a true emergency in terms of, financial need, and I mean spiritually, I don't mean like call 911 emergency. I mean, a spiritual emergency. You want to do the emergency karma clinic, which is breaking 1,008 coconuts. And then do your practice and your prayers. And intense is the key here. Intense and as much as you can. That's great. Katarine is saying that her patron goddess is a different goddess, which is also goddess. Her time is also on Friday, and she leaves an offering for Lakshmi at the same time. It's interesting that there's different religions who have similar concepts, right? Archetypes that are similar. Even the certain religions will make sure they light candles on Fridays, right? Like, so it's not an accident. There are spiritual principles at play here. So whether you call it Lakshmi or Isis or Venus, you know, these energies are embodied and they're there for us to learn from and to embody ourselves. And it's a frequency. It's a vibration. It's an archetype. It's this consolidation of a type of energy that we can utilize. And that's what makes it special. So in order to manifest material things, it is important. Is it important to write them on a piece of paper and chant? Yeah. So one of the things Dr. Pillai has told us over the years is to write down our goals, right? Write down what we want to accomplish. And I recently printed, I don't think I have it. I recently printed this piece of paper that is actually in your program, in your the people who are in Shreem Brzee manifestation immersion program. You have a goal, a worksheet that has to write your goal, as well as Shreem Brzee 27 times in each section. So you'll want to do that, right? And if you're not in the program, you can just write up it yourself and write your goals, write down your goals, write what you want to create, and then write Shreem Brzee and chant Shreem Brzee. So when we talked about the dreaming up or the fantasy meditation, one of the things Dr. Pillai said in the video is for you to dream what it is you want, create this beautiful image of what you want to create, and then empower it with Shreem Brzee, chant Shreem Brzee as well. So in the 2-hour meditation that we did in the program, I invited people to do that. And then during the chanting, it was a perfect opportunity where we're listening to Dr. Pillai chant, perfect opportunity to be thinking of your dream scenario, your fantasy meditation. So yes, write it, chant it, and embody it in that fantasy meditation. And things will start happening. Things will start happening. Right. I think we're wrapping it up. I don't see any other questions. What should be done with the writings of Shreem Brzee? You can burn them safely if you like. People do sometimes keep them, but I don't have a need to keep them, so I just burn them when I'm able to. You can keep it, keep it for a little while and then just roll them up and burn them in a safe place. All right. I think I've got everything. All right, folks. Writing goals in mobile app is equally powerful. Yes, you can do that. If you're not able to write physically, you can write them in your mobile app. It's just taking them, capturing it. But writing physically, if you can, there's a connection to the brain and the writing that really helps us kind of ground in the goal, and it is very useful. Also, how Dr. Pillai explains when you write Shreem Brzee, you're taking it from the unmanifest to the manifest, and so that helps with our goals as well. But if you can't, due to privacy reasons or whatever, then do it however works best for you. Sorry, what was that we need to burn? I mentioned that if you want to burn the writings of Shreem Brzee, you can do that. Some people save them. I don't. I just burn them. Just burn them safely. Be smart. Yes, you can chant the Varahi mantra. Absolutely, that's a really, really powerful mantra, and it's included. Shreem Brzee is included in that mantra as well. So yes, that's a good one. All right, so we'll go ahead and wrap it up. Thank you for being here. We've been together for about an hour now, and I appreciate you showing up, appreciate your questions. I hope that this was helpful, and I will see you in a month to do May's Powertime updates. In the meantime, please link below, put your name on the link below for updates on the monthly workshops. I'll be doing a workshop in May I think it's May 1st, so it's early on. We'll want you to make sure that you are signed up for that and get the notifications. You can join Shreem Brzee Manifestation Immersion or Wealth Powertime events that actually both have similar content in terms of what you'll be getting. The Shreem Brzee Manifestation Immersion has a little bit more. You can access some additional rituals. So those are the things that are coming up, as well as Navaratri. If you want to join the 9 Nights of the Goddess, the rituals, always fabulous and fantastic. I usually join those. And that's about it for kind of ways to participate beyond the free, wonderful things that we give you on these channels. So I will see you soon, and I wish you a blessed Shreem Brzee month, and we'll see you soon. Namaste.